The greatest mustache in radio. This is the Scott Miller Show on WJBC.
FM 102.1, AM 1230, WJBC. He and his band have sold over 55 million albums worldwide. They were an MTV staple. The lead singer's got a brand new song out called Back in the Day. He's going out on tour. You can see him July 29th in Tinley Park, along with Mark McGrath, Steve Augeri, formerly of Journey, Jefferson Starship, and Night Ranger. I'd like to welcome to the show the lead singer of Poison, Mr. BRET Michaels. BRET, good morning.
Good morning, Scott. How are you, my friend? Good morning, good morning.
Are you currently wearing a bandana?
Hell yeah. Are you kidding me? I'm telling you, the only cure I have, this is ironic today, as I was listening to the weather coming through the Illinois area, all right, I said, I've got the cure to this. I have it. It is a feel-good, back in the day, the new single is a summer-driven feel-good song written to beat the winter blues.
It's been 40 years since Poison formed, with hit after hit. Every Rose Has Its Thorn, Talk Dirty to Me, Unskinny Bop. Is there one moment from your life with Poison that you will never forget? Is there one standout moment?
Let me say this. I'll never forget, we're coming from a small sump pump water-filled basement rehearsals in Pennsylvania, and then to be able to play Texas Stadium. If people want to view the Poison I Won't Forget You video, I'm standing in front of 83,000 people, going from living, again, out in L.A. behind a back half of a dry cleaner on sleeping bags, literally using the speaker cabinets set over as a bed to get you off the cockroach-ridden floor. And I can't make this up, to look out and see 83,000 people were shooting our video. You got Steven Tyler from Aerosmith watching from the side. You've got Paul Stanley on stage with us doing music. And it was just, that was a incredible moment.
Well, I saw one interview with you where you talked about this concert, and you said it was just a year prior that you had purchased tickets to go see Aerosmith yourself from the audience, and now you're playing with Aerosmith just a year later.
1,000% true. And I always want to tell people this. Maybe it's different today. In the beginning with us, we were our own independent band, so this was our own album. We held on to our publishing, all which eventually turned out to be a great thing. But back then, we were still living in the back half of that dry cleaner. Like we were out on the road, and all of a sudden, this was our first tour bus. We didn't, we were like, this is unbelievable. And then all of a sudden to know that I had just bought tickets, probably row double Z, and then you can add an extra Z. That's how far back you were. I remember seeing Aerosmith, and then the next thing you know, here I am playing with Aerosmith and Boston and Whitesnake and Kiss, and having Paul Stanley up on stage. And the proof is in the video. If they watch the Poison I Won't Forget You video, it's got that. And then the new Back in the Day video has a lot of that same kind of footage in it, bringing it, again, from then, till now, bringing it forward.
I want to talk to you really quick here. So you're living large, you're touring the world, you're selling out arenas and stadiums, and then grunge starts to rise to the top. What was your first response to the Pearl Jams and the Nirvanas?
I always feel that music's always going to refresh itself, right? The one thing that didn't make no sense is that when you're a musician, you don't know why one had to verse the other. In other words, none of the fans got the message. None of the people were like, wait, who's putting out the message? But in order for anything to succeed, sometimes you have to start to kick something else down a notch. And we just continued as Poison doing exactly what we do.
All right. You've got this new song out, Back in the Day. It is available now on YouTube. Watch the video. And the song is great, but watch the video on YouTube. You even show some love to us radio DJs. So how did this song come to be? How did you decide, okay, I got to write this kind of an anthem?
I needed a summer feel-good song, going through everything we've been through the last couple of years with the pandemic, the confusion of the pandemic. The craziness going on last summer, being out on the road. I'm a road trip guy. If anyone who's around me knows me, I'm a jump in the car, go on a road trip. I call it the family truckster. Right? I got the family truckster. I got the RV that I put my family in, and we get in there and we just go wherever. Like, I'm like, listen, kids, get in the car. We're going to take a trip, and they know it. They don't even fight it. We get in the, the 23-footer and just take off. I even did I'm going to unleash it. I'm going to take a drive here today or tomorrow and unleash that on my TikTok, and people can, if they truly need to have a moment of laugh, either go to my TikTok, or if they want to feel good, literally go watch this back in the day video. It just puts you, in my opinion, it puts you in a good mood.
Oh, it definitely does. I was watching this video on Friday, and it just brings you back of just hanging out with your friends, maybe possibly sneaking a beer where you're not supposed to, running the streets, cruising the strip, just hanging out and listening to music and hanging with your friends and finding every excuse you can to be around great people, to smile, to love, and to laugh and party all the way. And you sort of encompass that in this song. Check it out on YouTube. Back in the Day by BRET Michaels. He's my celebrity guest this morning. Hey, something else that is really hard to believe that maybe not everybody knows, but you're a type 1 diabetic. I just don't understand how you can be a rock star back in the 80s, traveling the world, probably drinking and eating and doing anything you want, but still able to manage your diabetes. That right there deserves an award.
First of all, thank you. Yeah, I've been a type 1 diabetic since I've been 6 years old. I do the 5 injections a day since I've been a kid. It started with a couple, and then, and then you adjust with each meal and what you're doing. And here's what I did. It's crazy, but you find that balance. If you, again, you're talking about the 80s, I'm talking about 90s and now. I still love to throw a great party after every stadium show. We did these big meet and greets. We're doing them at Tinley. I like treating people great and having a great time. But here's the blessing and the curse of being a diabetic. The curse is obviously no one wants this disease. You don't ask for it, you don't want it. But I dealt with the card that I was dealt. In other words, my parents are like, look, you're going to be victorious. Don't be a victim to this. And so I just took the bull by the horns and still live life to the fullest and treat people great. And honestly, with the crazy things I've been through, it is the fans, family, music, being out on the road. It's kept me young mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever you want to call it. And I tell people, I'm encouraging them, don't feel like it just has to be back in the day. Back in the day, and the video brings everything forward right up until now. Just finding those moments. I still get with my friends. You're going to laugh. I'm like, man, let's just go take a road trip. I went back to my buddies in Pittsburgh and Harrisburg, and we went down to Wildwood, took it right down the turnpike, and just had the time of our life. And that's now. You know what I mean? Cranking the music and just having a good laugh.
Hey, BRET, we recently lost David Crosby. Your styles of music are completely different, but it was one of those guys that back in the day laid the groundwork for what you did in the 80s and what you're doing today. It's just such a loss for the music world.
It is. And, having crossed paths many times throughout my career, always grateful for any music that has come before me and comes currently and after. I'm just saying, such a great loss. And again, Jeff Beck, Lisa Marie, it's been, like I said, we as a world are going through some unique times right now, and anything I can do to, like I said, with the Party Girl tour coming to Tinley, anything I can do to if I can spark some good times and people having a great time, we work hard and we deserve it, especially, again, after the last few years we all been through.
Hey, tell me if this is true. I heard that before Loretta Lynn, country icon, country queen, Loretta Lynn passed away, that you sang to her before she passed. How does a BRET Michaels of Poison cross paths with Loretta Lynn?
Loretta is a friend, her family, everyone that works around her, and she lives outside of Nashville. And I'm a avid supercross and motocross. I'm an avid dirt bike rider, racer, whatever you want to call it, even now. She has an incredible track there they use for the Pro-Ams. And we went one Thanksgiving to ride and go up and have dinner with them. We became great friends. And not knowing, I go visit her quite a bit, and not knowing that she was going to pass, it was just her and I sitting up in her house, and she was singing her songs to me, and we were just sitting there, and her family was gathered around, and I started playing a little guitar and listening and talking, and it wasn't even a week after that she had passed.
Wow. Wow. BRET Michaels is on the line. I got a couple minutes with you before I got to let you go. Do your kids like that you're BRET Michaels, or is that annoying to them?
No, let me put it perfectly. I'm just dad. It's never, they don't, like, you know what I mean? When you live in the real life, I call it the continuum. I'm such a hands-on person. Like, literally, I love being a dad. And I said, if we got the time to make them, then we sure as hell better have the time to raise them, right? And I said, so that's me. I love being a dad. They give me an excuse to be a kid. And but I got to give you one thing. Now my daughters 21 and 17, right? And teaching them when they were younger, we used to race go-karts and stuff like that. And I would teach them how to slam it into reverse and park between the trash cans. And they didn't love me for. I'm not making this up. They're like, Dad, this is the most boring thing. I go, we'll race, but you're going to do this. And I said, you're going to thank me one day when you take your driver's test. And they both passed on the first get-go. Then I finally got a thank you. It wasn't until then.
I love it. BRET Michaels has got a brand new song out called Back in the Day. He's going out on tour July 29th. He'll be in Tinley Park along with Mark McGrath of Sugar Ray, Steve Augeri, formerly of Journey, Jefferson Starship, Night Ranger. You can find out more information at BretMichaels.com. BRET, thanks for hanging out this morning. I really appreciate it.
Scott, you're awesome. Thank you, and have a great day. And again, thank you for talking up back in the day. And I will see you at Tinley when we're back there July 29th. It is a Saturday, and it is going to be a party.
It's FM 102.1. It's AM 1230. It's WJBC.